Okay, so let's talk about the Amazon Assessment Center 2024. If you've watched this video, likely you've got an offer for an Amazon Assessment Center. Maybe that's in the next few days, the next few weeks. But either way, you want to do the best you can in your assessment center and maximize your chances of getting this degree apprenticeship. Quite likely, it's probably the degree apprenticeship you want the most. I know Amazon is very popular. It's actually one of the most difficult degree apprenticeships to get inside because there are so many applicants because it is so popular. So in your assessment center, you're going to get a group exercise, 2 interviews, and a presentation. And basically, I've built this course. It's 100+ minutes just on the Amazon Assessment Center, so that you can basically do this to the best of your ability and maximize your chances. So things I cover here on the group exercise, like the strategy, the actual group exercise which Amazon uses. Then in the interview, you've got the questions which they're going to ask you. Then the presentation, the best topic to do it on, and actually the strategy for making that presentation. That's all included in the course. And this course is available first link in the description. You can just go click here and it's going to send you to the Apprenticeship Insider program. You just join that. This full course is available. And basically you're going to learn all the tips and strategies for the group exercise, for the interview, for the presentation. What I'm going to do in the rest of this YouTube video is I'm going to give you this full lecture right here on YouTube, so you don't even have to worry about clicking on the link. Just continue watching the rest of this video. This is the focus lecture. It is the most important video from this Amazon course, okay? Because this is where you want to learn the mark scheme, the assessment criteria, okay? How to actually approach this assessment centre, okay? What kind of things do you need to have in mind in order to present yourself as the best candidate and basically give yourself the best chance of being offered the job? So this is the most important thing, because then you know exactly how to act in your interview, that sort of thing. What sort of like values and mark scheme to think about. Okay, so that's what you can watch for the rest of this YouTube video, just given this lecture right here. Then once you've watched this and you know, okay, this is how I approach it, you can then join the course. This is where you're going to learn the specific things, which is like how exactly to act in the group exercise, like how exactly to answer the interview questions, like what exactly to do the presentation on. So rest of this video, just the focus, and that's going to be really useful for you. This is, again, I said, I'll just repeat it one more time. This is the most important video from the course. I would recommend continue to watch this YouTube video, watch this, and then once you've watched this and you understand it, and then you're ready for some more specific tips, then click the first link in the description. It'll take you to the Apprenticeship Insider program. You can then come to this course, watch all those videos. I look forward to seeing you all inside, and good luck with your Amazon Assessment Centres. I hope this course and content really helps you. Cheers. So, what are they actually assessing you on? That's like one of the most important questions you could ask, right? Think about when you do a maths A-level or a physics A-level or a geography A-level paper. You're always thinking about, what does the mark scheme say? You do the paper, you mark yourself against the mark scheme, you try and make sure in future you match the mark scheme. So in like physics word questions, when they ask you some random like question about diffraction, you learn what it says in the mark scheme. That's how you get marks in word questions in things like physics and chemistry and biology. You just learn the pattern of the word questions that come up in the mark scheme, right? Why would it be any different with apprenticeships, right? If you learn the mark scheme, you can just literally copy paste the mark scheme, and then you know exactly like what you can do. You know how to succeed. Okay, so that's literally the meta for apprenticeships. It's basically just copying the mark scheme. Don't like go off and try and like do your own thing, right? Literally, or like just try and do something random and hope it works. No, copy exactly what the mark scheme says. Let me go through the mark scheme. This is coming straight from Amazon, all of this. Straight from Amazon, like straight from their mouths. Like if they're saying this, literally the company you're applying to, then best believe you should probably be trying to follow it, okay? 3 main things are assessing you on here. All starting with A, nice bit of alliteration. Number 1, aptitude. Okay, so there's 2 basic parts of aptitude. First of all, your qualifications, they meet the requirements. That would have all been covered in your CV, initial online application. That's not really something to worry about now, so let's cross that out. The next part of aptitude is your interest in the subject. Okay, so sure, yeah, you have your GCSE, you have your A-levels in like maths probably, right? But where does your actual interest in the subject come into it, right? How can you show off that interest? Because sure, anyone can just apply to a software engineering thing and like say, oh yeah, I'm interested in software engineering, but do you actually care? Do you know what I mean? It's showing that specific interest in the subject. It's not just an interest in some general thing. So what I say in a lot of my videos, I think people get a bit twisted. So I say, make sure you focus on, I say, as an example, right, one of the values you focus on in the application is sustainability, right? That's because I'm coming from an engineering background, okay? So for engineering, that's something that's really important. Whether that be civil engineering, can we use like net zero carbon concrete, right? Um, can we can we make transportation more environmentally friendly? So mechanical engineers, automotive engineers thinking about, can we have like electric cars instead of petrol and diesel cars? Aerospace engineers thinking about, can we have like hydrogen planes instead of kerosene planes, that sort of thing. That's why in my videos I say a lot of, as examples, I say, for example, you could use sustainability. So when I'm doing my example questions in videos to you guys, I say, oh, you can use sustainability. That's because my examples are being based off engineering, okay? They don't necessarily apply to everything else, okay? Let me link this back to the point here. You need to show an interest in the specific subjects you've applied to, okay? So if that's cybersecurity, you need to show specifically cybersecurity. If that's software development, you need to show specifically software development. So one mistake here, I think personally, would be to focus too hard on sustainability, right? Because I use sustainability as my examples. I always say, oh, it's a really good one to do because I'm focusing on engineering, when you're actually like doing sustainable stuff. At the end of the day, cybersecurity isn't really anything to do with sustainability, right? Really. Okay, so I just want to give you that as an example, just to think carefully about how you're showing your interest in this subject. If you applied to software development, I probably wouldn't recommend saying, oh, I'm really interested in joining this company because I care about sustainability. Because it's a bit like, okay, you've got an interest, but they are looking for program-specific interest. That's what the words they've said. Interest in the actual subject itself, okay? So just a bit of word of caution here. Don't just go flying around the buzzwords like sustainability if it's not completely necessary, right? So for example, like software development, it'd probably be better to say something about AI maybe, or something about quantum computing, or like a new programming language that's come out. Like that sort of thing is where you want to be showing these specific interests. Don't necessarily go straight to sustainability. I know Amazon do have sustainability things, but just have a think about that. Do some critical thinking rather than just, oh yeah, I heard sustainability is good, because that's just an example. Think about how this applies to Amazon, okay? Because that means you're going to like miss out the trap that quite a lot of people might fall in, which is where they think, oh, sustainability is good for all companies, let's use it. Software engineering apprentice, like, do you really care about sustainability? It's not really to do with anything. You're just typing code, like it's nothing physical. So does it really matter to that extent? It's a question to ask yourself. So when you're showing this interest in the subject, that means showing work experience, you've done volunteering, extracurricular activities, online courses, MOOCs, that sort of thing. And make sure they apply to the subject itself. They're not just some random thing which has nothing to do with it. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one, which is attitude. Okay, so what's the attitude you're showing off? This is, again, directly from them. Willingness to learn, desire to succeed, then ownership, commitment, curiosity. Right, I don't really need to do too much explanation on those. If you can showcase those three things, if you can showcase that attitude in your interview, in your presentation, in your group exercise, then you're going to be really attractive candidate. Ambition. So you want to show that you're committed to your career and your choice, okay? So the sort of question you want to think about for this is like, if they ask you a question, what do you expect to be doing in 5 years? Or like, what's your goals with this? If they ask you a question like that, you don't want to say, oh yeah, I'm just doing the apprenticeship for the money, I'll do it for 4 years and then get lost into the finance industry. Or I'll just like buy a BMW and go to some random house and just live there and just do something else for the rest of my life, right? Even if it's true, you need to make it seem like you're committed to the career, committed to the choice, right? So if there is a question like, what do you expect to do in 10 years, say, I hope I'm a really professional like software development engineer, and I'll have had lots of experience and work on lots of groundbreaking projects. I will have utilized new technologies such as AI. We'd be seeing the dawn of quantum computing. That's something that I could work on, and how we could incorporate that into financial systems and that sort of thing. That's the kind of answer that you want to be saying. Show how your career focused, okay? You're not just like doing it for the money or anything like that. You're focused on your own personal development, that sort of thing. And the final thing is that aligning with leadership principles. This is the most important link for your Amazon application. Okay, so on your web browser, you're going to have like a favorites bar, like a bookmarks bar. So every time you open a tab, it like says your like favorite websites at the top. Put that on here. Okay, maybe you've got your assessment center in a couple of days, a week, a couple of weeks. Put it on there for a couple of weeks, and it means you can just access it easy. This is the most important document, right? Because basically, to get an apprenticeship at Amazon, you need to show all of these three things, plus all of these leadership principles. Let's go on the document. Let's have a look. A whole bunch of them here, and these are basically a equivalent to company values. So a lot of companies, they have things like sustainability, collaboration, integrity, unity, excellence, like innovation, drive, customer focus, customer love, that sort of thing, right? Those are the values that these companies have. Amazon is very leadership focused, right? So these are basically the equivalent of their values. Like they're presented slightly different rather than just calling them like our values or our priorities. They're called Amazon's leadership principles. Okay, there's a whole bunch of them here. Customer obsession, ownership, invent, simplify, think big, dive deep, have backbone, deliver results, broad responsibility, all that sort of thing. Okay, you need to think about these in every single thing you do. Okay, so in the interview, how are you showing that you deliver results? Because at the end of the day, they're looking for an apprentice who's going to deliver the results. In the group exercise, are you showing how you're happy to disagree and commit? I'll get more onto this later in the interview section and the group exercise section, but just as like a precursor here, how are you showing these things? Think about it. Here's your action step for this module, okay? Print this page off, or like copy and paste it to a document. Print this page off, so it'll be these three. Where is it? Print, and then print the PDF, something like that. Or you can just print it straight off. Print it off, stick it on your wall. Okay, you need to embody these values when you go to the interview. Okay, you need to literally embody these values. Okay, there's a book. I've mentioned it before in one of my interview videos. So it's called Atomic Habits. You might have heard of it. And there's basically something to do with habits, right? So there's outcome-based habits and identity-based habits. Okay, so let me just read you a section from the book. Okay, this is just a short paragraph. It'll take me like 20 seconds or so. Imagine two people resisting a cigarette. When offered a smoke, the first person says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." Sounds like a reasonable response, but this person still believes they are a smoker who is trying to be something else. They are hoping their behavior will change while carrying around the same beliefs. The second person declines by saying, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." It's a small difference, but this statement signals a shift in identity. Smoking was part of their former life, not their current one. They no longer identify as someone who smokes. So let me just read those two quotes to you. "No thanks, I'm trying to quit. No thanks, I'm not a smoker." Which one's more effective? It's that I'm not a smoker, right? Because you're not a smoker, you don't smoke, so you're not going to smoke, are you? Whereas no thanks, I'm trying to quit is like, yeah, I don't want to have that, but like I do like smoking a bit, so I might have it, but I'm trying to quit. It's not as what's the word I'm looking for? It's not as certain, right? Anything like that. It's the same with these. So a lot of people, and I say this, right? You want to go into your interview and show that you embody these values, right? Like prove to them that you embody these values. Like pretend that you embody these values, whether it be aptitude, attitude, ambition, and like thinking big and frugality and diving deep. Yeah, you want to show them that. And there's two ways to do this. And it's basically you can go about, okay, I'm going to try and like pretend to them that I have backbone and deliver results and I strive to be Earth's best employer or whatever. Or you can actually be them. Okay? Do you get what I'm trying to say here? If you can actually embody these values, it's going to be so much more effective, right? Because it's just going to come across so much better when like the way you're talking just shows that you, deliver results, right? You're speaking with confidence about the things you've done well. When you are genuinely curious in your interview, you're like asking questions, all this sort of thing, showing like all the course you've done that's learning. It actually shows you courage rather than going in there and trying to pretend you're curious and like trying to pretend you have a willingness to learn or whatever. It's a lot more difficult. So this is why I say stick them on the ball, right? Because at the moment, You're watching this video, I've told them about it, so you'll be like, okay, let me think about these. I'm going to try and make it look like I embody these. Put this on your wall, stick it on your wall, blue tack. If you don't have blue tack, you don't even have to go and buy blue tack. Just sellotape it straight on the wall. And then look at it every single day. Right? And every single day you'll think about them. Because like you see it like 10 times a day. Put it on like a bit of the wall every time you walk past it, you see it. Right, and then you start to become more like it. Okay? You start to become more curious, right? You start to insist on the higher standards because you're seeing it every day. You're constantly reminded of it, and it like starts getting wired into your brain, right? Because another example of that smoking one is like, if you're somebody who wants to go to the gym a lot, right? That's your goal. So there's two options. You can say, "Oh, I'm trying to do you want to go to the gym today?" Yes, I'm trying to go to the gym. It's a bit weak, isn't it? Because you're like, "Oh, I should go to the gym. I'm trying to go to the gym. It's in my plan to go to the gym." Imagine someone says, "Are you going to the gym today?" Yes, I'm an athlete. Okay, it's completely different from, yes, I'm trying to like be an athlete and I'm trying to go to the gym and it's in my training plan or whatever. Yes, I'm an athlete. Okay, that is proper commitment to it, right? Because that's their identity. They're no longer got the identity of someone who's a bit lazy, trying to get into the gym a bit more, that sort of thing. They are an athlete. They are a gym person who goes to the gym, right? It's more committed, it's more likely to work, right? You're going to keep that habit of going to the gym if you literally identify with being an athlete, because every single time you think about something, you're like, what would an athlete do? An athlete would go to the gym, I'm going to go to the gym. As opposed to, oh, I'm someone who's trying to go to the gym and starting to get back into it. You have to have the question, oh, what would this kind of person do? They'd maybe go, but then also, to be honest, they'd probably just not bother. They'd slack off on a few days, that sort of thing, right? Exact same with this, okay? Stick it up on your wall, then you can embody these values, become these values. It's literally the secret, the secret to success in, I'm not just talking apprenticeships here, but I'm talking in life, in terms of just having good habits. Change your identity, right? Become these values, okay? Even if it's for a couple of days, for a week, right? Become the person who has a willingness to learn. Become the person who has ownership, commitment, and curiosity. Become that person. It's going to be so much more, it's going to seem real. It's going to sound better in the interview. It's going to come across better in the presentation if you become these values. Don't just try and show off and try and make it look like you have them. Actually become them. Your action step is to print this off, either this bit here or all of your Amazon leadership principles here. Stick it on your wall. Look at it every single day. Think about it every single day, whether that be 2 days into your assessment center or whether you got 2 weeks for it. Think about it every single day, because then maybe if you can become these values 5% more, that could be the 5% that gets you successful in this assessment center, because you seem that more real, that more authentic, that more embodying of these values, that you got the marks required and you got the role over someone else, right? It seems like waffle, right? So if you're actually still watching this module, well done, right? Because 90% of the people who started this module, they'll have clicked off it and skipped the more interesting things, like the group exercise which Amazon uses, the questions, the best topic, that sort of thing. Okay? If you're still watching, no one talks about this. No one talks about the mindset you have to have, the values you can embody. This is one of the highest leverage videos that is going to be on this course, right? This video. Just because if you think about it, not even think about it, if you become these values in everything you do, you're going to have an amazing chance in this assessment center. Okay? Action step, print this off. When you've done that, move over to the next module. We're going to start talking about the group exercise. Once again, to access this full course for the Amazon Assessment Center 2024, click the first link in the description, and then you'll be able to join the Apprenticeship Insider program, and I'll show you how you can get to this Amazon Assessment Center full course, and then get all these extra modules on the group exercise, interview, presentation, etc. See you inside. Have a great rest of your day.